Loving, loving Sai Ram, Dr. V Shankar, the Sri Satya Sai Global Council of Trinidad and Tobago lovingly welcomes you to another episode and interview in the series Awake, Unite, and Inspire. We are extremely grateful, blessed, and honored that through the grace and will of Bhagwan, you are once again a guest on this evening's program. So, Dr. V Shankar, my first question, can you expand on the statement of Sai, I am God, I am not different from God. I am the infinite supreme, the one reality. I am Satchit Ananda Swarupa. I am Om Tat Sat Om.
Omnipresent Divine Father, fellow pilgrims on the path, my loving Sai Ram to all of you who are online from Trinidad and elsewhere. Sai Ram, brother Faiz, is again a great honor and pleasure to be with you because these discussions are benefiting me more than anyone else, making me reconnect with Bhagwan. And the statement, this profound statement you just is the essence of Vedanta. It is the height of spiritual attainment. And it is the human birth, the very purpose of human birth is to experience these. And the very purpose of avatars being born is to lead us to this goal. If you look at the statement, I am God is the stage of recognition. I am no different from God is the stage of affirmation. And I am the infinite supreme, the one reality, is the stage of wonderment. And I am Satchitananda Swarupa is the stage of exuberance. And Om Tat Sat Om is the stage of transcendence. It is that highest awareness that Swami so beautifully, in fact, I was there when Swami declared in his discourse after a conference, this profound statement. And this statement is exactly reflected in the Upanishads. And Swami has summarized the teachings of the Upanishads in this statement. In fact, Isavasya Upanishad, in its prayer, beginning prayer, the Shanti Pata says, Om Purnamadam Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Avasishyate. This is fullness. That is fullness. This fullness came from that fullness. Even though this fullness came from that fullness, this and that are completely full. As an example, what Swami says is, there is this space inside the house and there is space outside. The space inside the house, because of the walls, feels that it is separate. But once you break the wall, is there any difference between the space inside and the space outside? Same thing about the waves in the ocean. The wave is also water. The ocean is also water. Same thing about the clay pot and the clay. The clay is clay. When it becomes a pot, it is still clay. Same about jewelry, that it is gold, whether it's in the form of a jewelry or raw gold. Even in mathematics, we talk about the infinity. Infinity is a number. When you add infinity to infinity, it is infinity. When you subtract infinity from infinity, it is infinity. In physics, if you light a candle and you light another candle, both lights are equally bright. Nothing is diminished. Same way in biology, we say that DNA contains the entire history of humanity. But when the DNA splits into two, it is mirror information. The information on one strand of DNA is the same, it's full as in the other strand. So all of science, all of creation, all philosophy reflect this highest truth. Not only that, all religions also reflect this highest truth. Moses said, I am who I am. It is the I am who sent me. Jesus said, be still and know that I am God. And he said, you may not know him, but I know him. If I say I don't know him, it will be a lie. He said, I am the way, I am the truth, I am life. I and my Father are one. No one can reach my Father except through me. These are all the same affirmation, even though we have many Christians have narrowly understood when he says, no one can go to my Father except through me. They refer to that I is the physical form of Jesus and body. But what he means by that I is that awareness within. Without that awareness of divinity, we cannot become divinity. And it's also in Islam, the Sufi sect talks about Anal Haq, I am truth, I am God. And also Zen Buddhism, Tao, or Buddhism itself, or Jainism, everybody says the same thing, that you are the supreme consciousness, which can be represented as everything or nothing, the shunyata, and also the Tao. So no matter what we call, it is the same spirit. See, he's no more, Ken Robinson. He's a great educator from England. He was a professor at University of Warwick. And his famous, his TED Talk, which he gave, I think, 2008 or something, is the #1 most popular with 78 million views. What does Ken Robinson talk about? He talks about the education system today, how it limits students from learning, because we are training students to have more information, more skill. But he said, by that process, we are stilting them. We are suppressing their creativity. He said, creativity, common sense, and compassion are more important than what we are teaching kids today. Long ago, a Harvard study said, all children are born geniuses, but it's the environment that dumbs them down. In this context, Ken Robinson shared a story. I was so inspired. I want to share with you. There was a child in an art class. It was drawing a picture, so focused. So the teacher came near the student and said, child, what are you doing? The child said, I am drawing a picture of God. And the teacher said, how can you draw a picture of God? No one knows how God looks like. And the student, she didn't even raise her head quietly. I mean, she was quietly continuing. And suddenly she said, they will know in a minute how God looks like. That is the confidence a child has. That kind of confidence and faith we should have within ourselves. See, we think when we hear such a statement, normal reaction is, oh, that is too abstract. That is too high. This is lack of faith in the Guru. We should have faith in Swami's words. Swami will never say something that is impractical. Swami will never say something that we cannot practice. Swami will never say something that is not useful. If Swami says we are God, we have to be God. There is no other go. We have to have the faith. Many, many years ago, in 1985, during Swami's 60th birthday, we went to Prashantanilayam. And there, I was sitting in the veranda, and I had with me a book. I found a book, a very thick book, 1,000 pages big, and it's titled Swami. It's written by a famous author. And His name is R. Ganapati from Tamil Nadu. And it's a beautiful book. I was so inspired. And in that book, he said, he quotes Swami that you should make the affirmation, Aham Brahmasmi, I am God. I used to chant Swami's name, Om Shri Sai Ram. And that used to give me great happiness. But when I read this book, I said, I am going to switch over to Aham Brahmasmi. For 2 days, 3 days, I was chanting Aham Brahmasmi, but I didn't feel good about it. And Swami was walking on the veranda looking at me what I am doing. And after 3 days, I said, no, I'm going to switch to English. I'm going to say, I am God, I am God, I am God. So I kept saying, I am God, I am God. It didn't click. A couple of days, Swami called us for an interview. And inside, then he introduced me to two people. Swami said, this is R. Ganapati from Tamil Nadu. The same book I was reading, Swami has brought the author. I was meeting him face to face, and his friend, who is the editor of a famous magazine. And Swami was talking to us in front of everybody. And then Swami said, how is your sadhana going along? I said, Swami, it is good. Swami said, no, jumps and bumps, going up and down, not steady. Then I looked at Swami. Swami said, what are you chanting? I said, Swami, Om Shri Sai Ram. Swami said, no. After you came, you changed it. What were you chanting? I said, Swami, I was chanting Aham Brahmasmi. Swami said, no. You changed again. What did you chant? And I was embarrassed. I didn't want to say loudly. I said, I am God, very lightly. Swami said, no, I can't hear you. Say loudly. I said, Swami, I was chanting, I am God. Swami says, did you feel your God? I said, no, Swami. Then why do you do all these stunts? Go back to Om Shri Sai Ram. That gives you happiness. Swami said, you have to have faith first. Only then experience will follow. And later on, he elaborated, this divine love is like a triangle. This triangle has 3 corners. One corner is faith, another corner is experience, the third corner is trust. Faith is self-motivation. Because of faith only, we do things. So you have to have faith, I am God. When you have that faith, you will have the experience, which is self-awareness. And when you have the experience even a little bit, that will create trust, which is self-confidence. Initially, this triangle is large. So the distance between the corners is quite large. So it takes time for faith to become experience to become trust, or self-motivation to become self-awareness, and self-awareness to become self-confidence. But as you progress, the triangle will keep shrinking. And one day, all 3 will coalesce, and then you will experience divine love, where faith, experience, and trust will be one as divine love. So in this context, once Hanuman and Rama were walking along the shores of Rameshwaram, and Rama saw the monkeys taking a stone and building the Setu bridge. And when they put the stone, they started floating. So Rama thought he will also take a stone and put it in the ocean, and the stone that Rama threw sank to the bottom. Rama was surprised. He said, Hanuman, you're a wise man. Explain to me, while these monkey devotees throw the stone, they float. While I throw the stone, it sinks. Hanuman was very wise. He said, Lord, everything comes from you. What you discard will sink. But what they have, your power of your name they have, and they write in one stone Ra and the other stone Ma. This Ra is Agni Bijam, the fire, power of fire, and the Ma is Prema Bijam, the fire of love. They get attracted, they float. Then Rama was so impressed with Hanuman, he hugged him and said, Hanuman, who are you? How do you know things about me which even I have forgotten? What is your relationship to me? And then Hanuman humbly said, Oh Lord, when I feel I am the body, I am your servant. When I feel I am the mind, I am your friend. When I feel I am the Atma, I am one with you. So Swami says you have to develop. That's why when Hanuman had this kind of devotion, each hair in his body was chanting Ram, Ram, Ram. He said, you have to make the name of God permeate through and vibrate in every cell of your body. That's why even today, modern science talks about epigenetics. That is, the information is not only in the DNA, not just from the DNA, but the environment influences. And the neuroplasticity, the power of the will change the chemistry and biology of the body. So this great statement is something which we have to live. We have to recognize. We have to affirm. We have to wonder. We have to get into a stage of exuberance, and we have to eventually transcend. And that is how I understand this beautiful teaching of Bhagwan.
Thank you, Dr. P.V. Shankar. Very, very comprehensive and put very simply so that we can all understand. But Dr. Shankar, Swami has recommended that we affirm this particular statement of I am God. But many, many people do not truly, as you said, believe, as Swami was telling you, do you really, really believe that you are God? That you are the infinite supreme, the unchanging reality? We utter it, but we don't truly believe it, so it does not become a true experience from within. Why is it that we are not able, if we are God, we are not different from God, why are we not able to manifest that divinity continuously throughout our lives? What is it that prevents us from manifesting our true selves constantly?
One way I will explain this. Student went to a guru. And to the guru, he said, "Oh teacher, I don't have peace of mind. I am not happy. I don't the feeling of love towards God." The guru told him, "You have been with me for a long time. Tell me, do you want me to give you a truthful answer, or do you want me to say something which will make you temporarily happy?" Because many times when we go to the guru, we want him to encourage what we are doing and never criticize or correct us. So the student said, "No, no, no, tell me the truth. I can handle it." The guru said, "The truth will hurt. The truth has an inconvenience of coming up at the wrong time. So do you have the guts to face truth?" Then the guru said, "The reason you don't have peace, you don't want peace. The reason you are not happy, because you don't want to be happy. The reason you don't love God, you don't want to love God." Then the disciple got upset. Even though he promised Guru, he will understand. He said, "How can you tell this? My grandfather was with you. My father was with you. I am with you. We've been serving you. How can you say that I don't want peace? I don't want to love God. And I don't want to be happy. If it's not true, why would I be with you?" Similar to the question, why is it not, I am not able to get this feeling? And the Guru told the disciple, "You see, the reason I said you don't love God, you don't want to love God, you don't want peace, you don't want to be happy, because there are too many things you want. See, there is finite amount of energy given in to human being. It's just like the sun's rays, it falls. But if you put a magnifying glass, it gets focused. So when you have too many desires, I want this, I want this, I want to get married, I want a good job, I want to be popular, I want to be powerful, I also want God, I want to love God, I want a peace. So this energy gets dissipated. And so we are jack of all desires, master of none. Only when that desire gets focused totally on that one thing, that will manifest. That's why he said, you're wasting your energy. If you truly, truly love God, that's why it says, love thy God with all your heart, with all your might. That's the secret to recognize that. Once we develop that 100% focus, automatically we will start experience. And then the example of the triangle, faith will produce experience, experience will produce trust, trust will increase the faith, and then it'll keep going and the triangle will shrink. That is my understanding.
Thank you very much,
Answered your
Dr. Shankar. And while you were speaking and made reference to the Holy Quran, it reminded me of a verse in the Quran that is relevant to our topic we are discussing. Allah says in the Holy Quran, Allah is closer to you than your jugular vein. So that
exactly.
He is within. And the Holy Prophet Muhammad, upon whom be peace, once said, he who knows himself knows God.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And then you spoke about the Sufi, the mystical men of Islam, in that statement, Anal Haq. And there's a verse, the declaration of faith is La ilaha illallah. The Orthodox translation means there's no God but Allah. But the Sufi mystics interpret the same verse, not that there is no God but Allah, but that there is nothing but Allah.
God, yes.
That everything is God. So very beautifully put. So, Dr. Shankar, thank you for that beautiful explanation. And this is the very purpose that the avatar has taken birth. He says, all other things are incidental to my mission. My mission is to awaken the inherent divinity within you and to allow that to manifest in thought, word, and deed. All other things you must use in order to achieve that goal. But as we discussed, we first have to have the faith and the confidence, the belief that I am truly God. I am not different from God. And then that is going to go deep within and allow us to really feel and experience that divinity. And then it will manifest in how we behave and conduct ourselves in the outside world. Another important area in spirituality is that, and generally speaking, is that of criticizing one another. We see it happening every day in the business place, at home, and even in the organization. You see people criticizing one another and making judgment calls on one's character without understanding the full picture of the situation. And sometimes in daily life, we have to make judgment calls and assessments when we are, for example, assessing an employee's performance and trying to see if this person is deserving of a promotion, etc. But I think what Swami means here is that when we criticize, and he says, in his own words, he says, criticizing others is one of the greatest sins. The criticism and criticizing he speaks about, I feel, is when you criticize to denigrate or pull down the individual rather than to provide constructive, loving criticism to lift the person upwards. So, what are some of the karmic consequences of such actions when we criticize others with the motive to destroy one's character? How damaging is that to our spiritual growth?
Very beautifully posed question. Fundamental reason our faith that I am God is not strong, fundamental reason we are not able to experience that bliss is due to this bad habit of criticism. If you look at the triangle example, criticism is like the little mice that chopping into the thread that is connecting the corners. So faith does not become experience. Experience does not become trust because of this nature of criticism. See, the body is a gift from God. Energy is a gift from God. Mind is a gift from God. And intelligence is a gift from God. See, it is like this. When God gives you nectar, instead of drinking it and becoming immortal, if you use the nectar to wash your feet and hands, this intelligence is the greatest gift, but we use it for the mean purpose of criticizing others. So, question is, why do we criticize others? Two fundamental reasons. Lack of understanding who we are. We have not sincerely asked the question, who am I? So, think I am the body. And we look at the other bodies and we compare ourselves. So, based on the strength of the body, the beauty of the body, the nature of the body, the status of the life, and of the powers of the mind and the powers of the intellect, we compare each other. And based on that, then we had developed inferiority complex. So the inferiority complex manifests outside. We compensate, overcompensate. We look down upon others. Can be great only when we put others down. That's why this is the greatest sin. Disciple came to the Guru and said, Guruji, you are nice to all the other disciples, but with me, you're not kind. You're giving them higher teachings, but for me, you give me the lowly jobs. Why is it like that? Guruji told the disciple, son, there is a fundamental difference. Whenever you come to me, you're trying to impress me. You're trying to impress me. Oh, I have done this. I have done faster than so and so. I have done it better than somebody. He said, don't try to impress me. Because if you try to impress others, you will not be able to inspire them. It is due to your inferiority complex. You are anxious to impress even your guru. To tell you honestly, I'm already impressed with you, not as the body, not as the mind, not as the intellect, but as the consciousness. Lower yourself to the lower levels of existence and try to live a life like that. And that's what we are trying to do. Thinking we are the body, thinking we are the mind, thinking we are the intellect, we are trying to impress others. And due to this habit, we suppress them. Because if I cannot be rich, I want to make everybody poor. If I cannot be intelligent, I will cavil at them. If I cannot earn money, I want everyone to become poor. Like that, it goes on. See, if you look at it, the color of the skin is 1/20th of an inch of the epidermal layer of the skin. But based on that, how many prejudices, slavery, racial prejudices, caste system, and economic insecurity, so many diversions humanity has created. We have created all these problems due to this critical nature. Swami was very particular with me that don't develop, we talked about in the previous interview, don't develop any critical thoughts. Even an impulse of a critical thought will become a forest fire. The world is wasting its energy due to this criticism. This has become a hate culture and not a love culture that it should be. So we have to turn it backwards. The other day I was listening to a beautiful talk, somebody, he was telling about 3 T's that are important to overcome this bad tendency of criticizing others. Actually, I would like to embellish on it and talk about 4 T's. The fourth T is the goal. The first 3 T's are the tools. What is the goal? The goal is the truth. What is the truth? The statement Swami made, I am God, I am no different from God, and the entire statement. What is it that's preventing us? How can we manage the critical attitude? How can we overcome this? What I heard was, he said, you have to have time management. Second T is management. Third T is thought management. The time. We spend the time, all that time criticizing others. How can we be useful in life? If you look at the social networks, even as you said in the organization, how much energy back and forth. One person says something, another person says something. Time has been wasted. And tongue has 2 roles. One is to taste food, another is to speak. We misuse both. But the tongue has to only chant the name of God. Because there is a poet in Tamil Nadu, Vallavar, he said, Teenal suttapun ullarum arade navinal suttavadu. Even a wound caused by fire will eventually heal, but one wrong word, one hurtful word will cause hurt which will last generations. We know that is this enmity between countries, enmity between families is due to one wrong spoken word. And the last one is thoughts. Thoughts are primarily responsible for our hate culture. And our intelligence is being misused. Swami says, use these and use your time, use your tongue, use your thoughts, and use every resource God has given only towards loving others and not hating others. That is my understanding.
Thank you, Dr. Shankar. I remember also reading where Swami says, when someone levies criticism at you, look at what they are saying about you. If what they are saying about you is true, you make an effort to change. And if what they're saying is not true, then you release it lovingly. So it leads me to an extension question. When we are being criticized, when we are being condemned or insulted, how and what is the best response of the spiritual aspirant? I remember, subject to correction, that Swami says when somebody criticizes you as well, they lighten your karmic burden and they increase theirs, especially if it is to denigrate or pull down. Can you comment on this?
Definitely, because first of all, we think we live for ourselves. Swami says, idam sarirartham paropakaram. We are born to serve others. This whole life is a sacrifice. See, not money cannot bring the wisdom. Progeny cannot bring ultimate wisdom. Wealth cannot bring ultimate wisdom. The sense of sacrifice alone can bring ultimate wisdom. So when we behave irresponsibly, when we say the wrong word, when we think the wrong thought, we are influencing others, as you pointed out. And as he also, Swami said, also Jesus said, and Swami also said in Premavani, look at your faults, consider them as big, how big they are. Look at others' fault and think of them as very small. Also, Swami said, remember the good others have done. Forget the good you have done to others. Remember the bad you have done to others and forget the bad others have done to you. So if we don't reverse this trend, this will keep continuing. The blame game will go on. As I once mentioned, it is not who starts the war is not important. Who ends the war is important. And if you want to end this war that is happening within our own minds and which is reflected upon as the war outside, then we have to stop this critical thinking and reacting to. So, why do we hurt others? Because when we critically think, we speak critically, and that becomes a harmful action to others. Why do we hurt others? Because we get hurt. Because if we are not hurt, we are never going to hurt others. And why do we hurt others? Because we have wrongly identified ourselves with the body, with the limited, finite existence. If we identified ourselves with the infinite existence, we will never be hurt. So the only solution is love and expansion of the heart.
And Dr. Shankar, again, while you were providing that explanation, is it also that we see the other person as different from us? We see them
Absolutely.
as a separate individual, and because of that, we become affected by what they tell us. But if we are able to see, as you said, and feel and know that the same divinity that lies in me lies in them, our response will be different to what you just described, where we may feel hurt.
Exactly. See, the example given by Swami is the love of the mother. For her, the child is her extension. The mother feels more happy when the child eats. She doesn't care about her hunger. The mother feels happy when the child is happy. Now, what Swami taught was, you see, we think when we eat something, we feel happy. If I eat the entire ice cream myself, I feel happy. After a while, one or two, three, I get disgusted. But there is a higher happiness when you feed others ice cream and watch that, not eating yourself. When we learn something, we feel happy. But when you teach that wisdom to others and they become aware of the knowledge, you feel more happy. Like Jesus said, not just give them fish, teach them how to fish, teach them a skill. So when we expand ourselves, very soon we will understand this limiting ourselves, all this happiness for ourselves is not really happiness. It's misery only. When we feel everybody, when we help everybody, that's happiness is tremendous. That's the way Swami said, service is very, very important. Karma yoga is very, very important. The humanity has not learned that lesson. Why do billionaires keep on accumulating money? How much happiness they will have if they follow Swami's example of how to do service, free healthcare, free education. Everybody deserves to live a peaceful life, but we don't understand, and that's where the problem is.
Many, many thanks, sir, for that explanation. I know we have discussed this particular question a little bit before, but I feel that it merits a deeper conversation and more information because of its really urgent importance in our spiritual development, and that is equanimity, equal-mindedness. And Swami saying, let the wave of memory, the storm of desire, and the fire of emotion pass through your system without affecting your equanimity. So very often in life, Dr. Shankar, when we engage in activities that are conducive to our spiritual development, like the daily japa and meditation, reading good and holy books, going to satsang, we are in a loving, spiritualized atmosphere that is conducive to maintaining and experiencing this equanimity. But the true test is when we go out into the world and we interact on a daily basis with people in a traffic jam, people in the office, our homes, and we are not able to maintain this equanimic state for long. We allow others to rob or steal our joy from within. We give them permission to do so by willingly giving it up. So, although we have striven so hard in our meditation practice to develop it, we become a victim of the outside influences and persons who steal, we allow them to steal or rob that joy from our hearts. So, from your understanding of Swami's teachings, can you define what really is equanimity? How can it be developed, preserved, and practiced continuously throughout our daily lives?
Beautiful question. We did discuss, but I think it deserves more attention. Actually, it deserves the attention of our entire lifetime to achieve equanimity, because that is the ultimate goal. That's when you say, I am Satchitananda Swarupam, being, awareness, bliss. See, our thoughts, our words and deeds, we are doing things, what for? What we call happiness. Okay? Whenever our desire is fulfilled, we are happy. Take a close look at it. The desire makes us happy. The absence of desire makes us happy. So, like the dog, we chews a bone, its own blood comes out and it tastes it and it thinks the bone is very tasty. We think it is desire to get this job, to get married to this girl, or to go on this vacation that will give us happiness. But when we accomplish it, the happiness is not coming from the desire. Temporarily, we are without desire. It's a temporary peace, we call it happiness. So, what we are really after is peace. Peace, the temporary peace, is just a taste of equanimity. That's all we are doing. So, for instance, we say the time period between two wars as a peaceful time, time periods between two arguments as a peaceful time. So, it's always a temporary peace that we are looking at. But that temporary peace will comes and goes. How do we, as you asked, how do we expand that temporary peace into a larger and larger and eventually a permanent peace? For instance, we plan a vacation. We plan a pilgrimage. Why? We want to go there and want to forget about our problems. We actually want to forget about our present moment. We want to escape. We want to think about the past, or we want to think about the future. Actually, planning for a vacation is more fun than actually being in vacation. So we are escaping ourselves all the time. Swami says, in order to get peace, you have three things: bend the body, mend the senses, and the mind. This, we have to have development. We have to make the body fit. We have to control the senses. I want to share with you an example from my own experience with Bhagwan. In 1986, we are planning a trip to Prashantaranayam, and I am fond of this savories, salty savories like potato chips or what the things they make at home. I put on a little bit weight. I developed a little tummy. My wife and my brother warned me, done a little tummy, Swami is not going to like it. I told them, What are you saying? Swami doesn't care about the stomach. He only cares about the heart. They left it like that. So we went for Guru Purnima. And every time we go to Swami, to get his first attention is very difficult because it's going to reflect. It's like a progress card, what you have done during the time you were away. So Swami ignored me. One darshan, two darshan, three darshan, four darshan, six darshans, he has ignored me. Then I know something is very seriously wrong. So one day, Swami, in the veranda I was sitting, Swami was standing in the middle of the students. And then he said very loudly, Shankar, what is wrong with you? Looks like you are 3 months pregnant. Don't wait. What is wrong with you? He was so embarrassed. And Swami openly said in front of everybody. And of course, I was afraid to go and tell home to my wife and brother exactly what Swami does care about the stomach as much as about the heart. I thought it was over. Now I'm trying, I'm not eating, but the fat that quickly forms, it takes a long time to go away. So I was sitting in the veranda. That was in the morning. In the evening, Swami came near me and then looked at me. And then Swami again loudly said, Shankar, it's a lot worse than I thought. You look 6 months pregnant. What is wrong with you? I was totally humiliated. I thought, I got the message, Swami. I won't go after those snacks and sugar. I will stop them. Next morning, after the regular interview, Swami called me for the interview. And he called somebody from Bombay and the local resident of Prashantani. And they were sitting inside. Then as soon as I came in, Swami said, Shankar, don't sit. Go and stand in the corner and just turn yourself. I want to see you. So I did modeling for Swami. And Swami said, Chi, so bad. You look 9 months pregnant. So much fat you have put on. Very, very bad. But this treatment is going to continue. Swami said, I can understand. But he said, short and fat is the worst combination. And I was humiliated beyond all measures. And I surrendered to Swami. And then Swami said, why? Then I said, Swami, I have no personality, Swami. And then Swami got so mad at me, slapped me on the cheek. Say that, look at your own God. Look at me. You think you're short, but look at Swami. So you're short, your mother is short, your grandfather is short, your own God is short. But look at Swami, even though he is short, how magnificent he is, how graceful he is. How can you call yourself as devotee of Sai and be like this? Aren't you ashamed of this? I said, Swami, you are God. And that's when Swami pulled me. Of course, that's when he slapped me. He said, so are you. Don't forget, you are representing God. You have to look like a God. You have to think like a God. You have to act like a God. So the feeling has to come. We have to be disciplined. So bend the body, mend the senses. And end the mind, an interesting story. We have time, Brother Faiz. Okay. The story is very, very interesting story, Swami said, about the nature of the mind. How ridiculous the way we think. He said once the monkeys had a conference. They arranged a retreat. And in the conference, the topic of the conference was, the theme of the conference was, how to be not like a monkey. This is something the monkeys never thought about, because some of the wiser monkeys they were really upset with men comparing their minds to them. They felt offended. They thought men are worse than them. How can the men call their minds equal to them? So the monkey said, then one other monkey said, it's true. See, we are frivolous. We are all the time playing. We don't focus on anything. So we have to change ourselves. So they organized this conference. And then they didn't, so they went, then they said, how do we change ourselves? The monkey said, yes, we would like to change, but how do we change? Then one elder monkey said, I used to go to the temple mainly for the bananas and the food they give there, but I happened to listen to a discourse. They said the best way to control your monkey behavior is to go on fasting. So the monkeys asked, what is fasting? They said fasting means you should not eat anything. Monkeys thought that is something we have never attempted, so it's a good idea, let's fast. So the elder monkey said, the leader monkey, the conference starts at 9 until 5, we won't eat anything. So the monkeys took a resolve, we are not going to eat anything. Unfortunately, the conference hall was next to a huge banana field, and there was ripe bananas there. So the monkeys said what to do. They were trying to meditate, not thinking about food. And when you say the mind, don't think about, that's the only thing will come to you. And here they're staring at the bananas. So 5 minutes, they couldn't hold it. So one monkey said, let's start a seva project. He said, what is that? He said, now it's 9:05. At 5 o'clock, we are going to eat. And then, of course, you know what the menu is, bananas. It's right next. So why don't we have a seva project and collect all the bananas and keep it ready? So as soon as the conference is over, we will feast on the bananas. Because the purpose of fasting is feasting. So they jumped and collected the bananas. Within 10 minutes, a huge pile of bananas was in front of them. Now they are trying to fast. They couldn't. How long can they hold? And then another monkey said, if you're going to eat the bananas, you have to remove the peel, right? So let's have another service project. We will remove the peel, keep it on one side, the fruit on the other side, and then at 5 o'clock we eat. That now the smell became a problem, not only the sight. Then another monkey said, we are going to eat eventually at 5 o'clock, but you have to put it in the mouth, right? So let us put the bananas in the mouth now. We will eat at 5 o'clock. So you know what would have happened. So Swami says, we keep justifying our actions, whatever we do. And we keep interpreting, oh, this is Swami's team. That he had to implicitly follow. Bend the body, amend the senses, and the mind. The thoughts have to be given up because we think peace at a distant future, or peace is at a distant place, or peace is due to a particular series of experience. Peace is very near. It's 1 second away, one thought away. Peace is our very nature. Equanimity is our true nature, but we are sacrificing that equanimity to spend time on everything else. And that is our problem.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shankar. And using the example of the monkeys and the bananas, simplified your explanation and made it very easy to understand. You know, another area of concern, whether we are spiritual aspirants on the path or we work in organizations, in our workplace, in our families, we see a lack of unity. Mahatma Gandhi was once asked, what is character? And he says, character is when there is unity in thought, word, and deed. But today in the family, in the society, in the business, in the organizations, people express different opinions, different ideas. If you have 10 people, you have 11 different opinions of the same action or object that we are discussing. So disunity seems to be very prevalent in the world today amongst families, organizations, to the point where it's leading to wars, as we have been seeing in the world. Swami says also unity leads to purity and purity leads to divinity. Can you expand on this statement and how you have translated this into your daily life? Because as the old saying says, united we stand, divided we fall. And Swami has said, one of the most important things in the organization is that there must be unity. He once told a group of Trinidadians, he says there's a lot of operation, but no cooperation, no unity that exists. Kindly share.
Very, very beautiful question, very profound and very relevant for everyone today. First of all, we have to understand that we use the word unity is acknowledging the fact that there is diversity. Notice in nature, everyone is unique. No two people are alike. No two fingerprints, no two iris prints, no two snowflakes. Everything is distinct, but underlying that, there is unity, oneness. Recognizing this oneness in the diversity, first is unity. Appreciating that oneness is purity. Living in that awareness is divinity. It's all about this oneness. So, you can say unity is at the thought level. Purity is at the word level. And divinity should be at the action level. Of course, it's always thought, word, and deed, like Mahatma Gandhi said. This thought of oneness, if it's expressed in words, that is purity from our heart, and it's done in action, it is divinity walking on earth. That's how we should live. I want to share with you a very profound experience. Happened after Swami left his physical form. It was 2012, Navratri time. See, Swami interacts with devotees in 3 different levels. He imparts his wisdom. He imparts his wisdom through his discourses, through his vahinis. He imparts his wisdom through personal conversations for those who were lucky to get interviewed. Or when he talks to them, even in the darshan line. One word, he can solve your problem. And another profound way, Swami talks from within, either as a subtle thought or in dreams, he conveys messages. The most profound messages are given as esoteric spiritual experiences. So during this Navratri time, I was desiring for a message from Bhagwan, because I was missing Swami's physical form, having enjoyed his closeness he has graced out of infinite compassion. Then I said, no, who am I to ask a message from Bhagwan? Selfishness. Swami has always given the messages through the 3 medium I have talked about. We should never ask, because when we ask God, we are limiting it. When he gives in abundance. So that day I was going to work in the morning at 45 a.m. in the freeway. Literally, conversation took place between Swami and I while I was driving in the freeway, in the California freeway. So shocked, I swerved, I was going to cause an accident. I want to share with you that conversation. I was in a semi-dazed. I was in the wakeful state driving the car, but I was also in a dreamy state listening to talking to Bhagwan. That answers this question of unity, purity, and divinity. And Swami asked in that conversation, Shankar, what is this Upanishad prayer you chant? Because there was an Upanishadic prayer. It's in the Taittiriya Upanishad. Swami always quotes, Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atiti Devo Bhava. Revere your mother as God, revere your father as God, revere a teacher as God, revere the guest as God. And so that time, one day Swami was giving a discourse in 87, and I was listening. Swami said, the parents and the teachers and everybody misuse this, and they demand respect as God. But you have to ask yourself whether you are behaving like God. So I was thinking about it. And then in that night, I got a dream, and Swami said, see, this interpretation of this is not the highest. The correct interpretation is Deive Mataram Bhavya, Deive Pitaram Bhavya, Deive Acharyam Bhavya, Deive Atitim Bhavya, Deive Shatrum Bhavya, Deive Mitrani Bhavya, Deive Sarvam Bhavya. God has come as your mother. God has come as your father. God has come as your teacher. God has come as your friend. God has come as your guest. God has pretending to be your enemy. God is everything. Don't see you have to revere your mother as God. Recognize and worship. Remember that God is your mother. So this was the prayer he had sent. So I thought Swami referred to that. I said, Swami, is this the one? Swami said, no. The other popular Upanishadic prayer, what is it? Then I said, Swami, Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityor Gamaya. Then Swami asked, what is the meaning? I said, this, Swami, this means lead me from unreal to the real, lead me from darkness to light, lead me from death to immortality. And Swami said, is that all your understanding after having been with me? This is not proper explanation. And I didn't know what to say. Then Swami said, when you say, lead me from unreal to real, unreal lead you to the real. And unreal and real are polar opposites. How can unreal lead you to the real? Then Swami said, darkness lead you to light. What is darkness? I said absence of light. So how can absence of light lead you to light? Then Swami asked, what is the third one? He said, from death to immortality. How can death to immortality? This is not proper explanation. This is the most famous prayer we have been listening to, we have been singing, we have been chanting, and Swami told me your understanding is totally wrong. I said, Swami, I don't understand. You please guide. Swami said, do you know Sai Upanishad? I will tell you from Sai Upanishad the correct understanding for this. A new Upanishadic mantra. The correct explanation is Dvaitoma Advaitam Gamaya for Asatoma Sargamaya. Drishtyorma Adrishtam Gamaya for Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. And Srishtyorma Premam Gamaya for Tyorma Amritam Gamaya. And then Swami went on to explain. You see so many people, you say they're all different. It's unreal. There is one God in everyone that is real. See, God being in everyone and they looking different are not contradictory. So recognize Dvaitoma Advaitam Gamaya. Advaitam means oneness. I am God. I am no different from God. I am in everyone. That is the correct meaning. Dvaitoma Advaitam Gamaya. Then he said, Drishtyorma Adrishtam Gamaya. See, when you see, you say, I am seeing this person, I am seeing this. This is not real. Who is that is giving the power to see? That is adrishtam, that is unseen. So when you look outside, you're fooled. When you look inside, you will recognize the God. So adrishtam, drishtyorma, even though you are seeing everybody, look at the source of the sight. That's why Kenopanishad says, what is the eye of the eye, the ear of the ear, the prana of the prana, the mind of the mind? That is the power of God. Recognizing that. That's why lead me from darkness to light means recognize the power of sight, nothing to do with darkness. Because then Swami said, what is the third one? Srishtyorma amritam gamaya. The reason you are born, the reason you recognize the unity in divinity, the reason you recognize the source of the sight, that purity is only for one reason, to love everyone. Srishtyorma premam gamaya. If you don't have love, you are dead. All men are dead men walking, pretending to live. If you don't have love, it's not worth living. So divinity is to love everyone every second of your life. That is the true meaning. So to repeat it, Swami said, the new meaning of Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritangamaya is Dvaitoma Advaitam Gamaya, Drishtyorma Adrishtam Gamaya, Srishtyorma Premam Gamaya. See the unity in diversity. That is unity. See the source of sight in everything you see, that is purity. And love everyone, that is immortality.
Beautifully explained, Dr. Shankar. Really, really inspiring. And we come now to the final question in this wonderful, divine, blissful interview. Many, many devotees, and we have heard them testify and state that when they came into the fold of Swami, that they expected life to be happy and peaceful and not full of bumps and jumps. When devotees go to the ashram, be in the ashram of Sai Baba, they expected to be treated with love, with kindness, with gentility. And some devotees have actually said the opposite happens. They go to the accommodation office and somebody shouts at them. They sit for darshan and a sevadal may treat you in a particular way that you don't like. So there are many, many challenges. Prashanti Nilayam becomes like the training ground of the society. So many challenges are there and we face them all the time. The famous saying, Swami says, I hook you and then I begin to cook you. And then we add on now, he begins to barbecue you. So it's all part of the awakening of the divinity within through these challenges. And when I have viewed numerous personal journeys and transformation of devotees, they've gone through tremendous life-changing challenges. They've gone through so much of suffering and pain. So the question is, and I want to, before I pose the question, quote a saying of Swami. He says, follow the master, face the devil, fight to the end, and finish the game. He also says, you welcome the difficulties and the challenges because they toughen you. It is like peeling an orange. You know, the skin or the outer layer is not fit for eating, but you have to peel it before you can get the sweetness of the juice inside. Similarly, in life, there will always be difficulties and challenges, but it is how you navigate them, how you use them as opportunities for growth to awaken that divinity. So, kindly discuss based on your understanding and practice of this beautiful statement. Follow the master, face the devil, fight to the end, and finish the game.
It's another profound saying of Bhagwan. Thought quite a bit about it. I'm glad you said, and you set the context nicely. The world is not an easy place to live. Go to Prashanti, you face a lot of Ashanti. A young man gets married thinking that it'll be heaven. That's why it says marriages are made in heaven but lived in hell. So, you have to understand there are three aspects to an experience. Experiencer, the experience, and the experienced. The subject, the object, and the interaction. So we focus more on the object. Dvaita. Totally on the object. So we blame everything. We think happiness is outside. We think, and when the happiness is not there, we feel unhappy, so misery is outside. If we focus on the experience and the experiencer, that is Vishishta Advaita. Forget about the object. I am the one who want to have the experience, so I am controlling it. But if you focus only on the subject, who am I? That is Advaita. So all these problems, sufferings, happen because we are focusing on the experience and the object, and never the experiencer. So that's why the first saying is, follow the master. Master. The master is the supreme consciousness. Since we are not in that state of awareness, we are in the realm of worldliness, the body and the mind. The supreme consciousness, which is inside us as the inner guru, manifests as the outer guru and attracts us, guides us, takes us back to the inner guru, and ultimately takes us back to the supreme consciousness. So recognizing the outer guru is Dvaita. Recognizing the inner guru is Visishta Dvaita. Recognizing I am the guru, I am God, I am no different from God. I am the supreme infinite. So, Sachitananda Swarupam. Om Tat Sat Om is Advaita. So, if we follow the master, we don't need to do anything. The instruction is over. But unfortunately, we don't follow the master. We are part-time devotees. Then comes the other instruction. So follow the master is for the high, purest students. And for the average students, since we don't follow the master 100%, we have to face the devil. Because if we truly believe in the master, there is no devil. Everything. Like Jesus said, first he said, give us our daily bread. Lead us not into temptation. Let thy will be done. Once we have sinned, how can there be any devil? It is the master. Swami once told me, nobody does what you, whether they praise you, blame you, criticize you, hurt you, know that I am doing that to you. Jesus lived that. That's why he could not even get mad at the people who tortured him for 24 hours. And he crucified him. And he said, Father, forgive them because they know not what they are doing. So if you truly follow the master, there's no problem. Since we don't follow the master, we have to face the devil. That is our mind. And facing the mind is each thought has to be contented with. Fight to the end until there are no thoughts and finish the game. Our prarabdha karma, our entire karma is finished. I can think of two examples in this. There is Nisargadatta Maharaj. Many of you that I Am That, the famous book. He was in Bombay. He had a pawn shop and he was also selling bidi, the equivalent of cigar, poor man's cigar in India. And that was his job. He's a good man, but he had this business, which is not a great business to do, which was harming people. Then he met his guru in Pune. That guru told him, there is no difference between you and I. Chant God's name. His name was Hanumantrao. He was called Maruti. He said, Maruti, chant God's name. There's no difference between you and I. Sargadatta Maharaj had implicit faith in the words of his guru. He said, my guru said there is no difference. And my guru accepted me, even though I am this merchant selling cigars. I am leading this lowly life, but he accepted me, and he is the purer than the purest. I am the lower than the lowest, but he said we both are one. What he said must be true. He chanted the name of God. In 3 months, he felt the experience. That faith and experience and the trust, the self-motivation, self-awareness, self-confidence, rapidly in his case, the triangle coalesced in experience. So for him, following that word of the master was enough. Another example, you talked about a Sufi saint, Jalaluddin Rumi. Searching for a guru. At the same time, his guru, Shams of Tabriz, was searching for a disciple. For many years, he was searching, and Shams was wandering in the desert because he had so much wisdom. He prayed to Allah, I want to give this wisdom to somebody. Who do I give it to? This is too much burden. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa felt the same way. I have so much wisdom. Who can I give it? The mother showed Kal and Naren, Vivekananda and Brahmananda. And then he was waiting for them. The guru wants to give it, but he finds no student. And then an angelic voice told Shams, are you willing to sacrifice anything to share the wisdom? We think this disciple is sacrifices things to learn from the guru. The guru sacrifices everything to share his wisdom to the disciple. That is the power of the master. And Shams said, I will give my head if I can find one student. And so happened, they both met in the desert. Shams wanted to test him. He mentioned one other Islamic saint, and then Muhammad. He said, who is greater? Then Jalaluddin Rumi said, that other person had a sense of ego, so he was thinking, God has given me this wisdom, I'm sharing with you. But great prophet said, I know nothing, God, everything is yours. Everything is Allah. As you mentioned, La ilaha illallah, that the true meaning of that he was emphasizing. And then Shams accepted Jalaluddin Rumi. They didn't even talk. They looked at each other. The wisdom was transferred. They lived like two birds together for 2 years. The entire wisdom was transferred into Jalaluddin Rumi. He followed his master implicitly. And then Shams had to leave. He missed his masters. He wandered all over. And that's why the famous poems of Rumi came. And then finally he said, what a fool I have been. I was thinking my master was a form. I was thinking he was a human being, but he is the essence of all wisdom. He has already poured everything into me. So what I speak is his wisdom. I am with my master. I am none other than God. So that was the faith he had in that. And that is the state of awareness. So following the master, but we all go through fight to the face the devil, fight to the end, finish the game. It's better to just follow the master. That is my understanding.
Thank you, Dr. Shankar. And you made such an important point that even when we are faced or bombarded with challenges, we have to learn to see the divine hand in them. Just as in the good times, we experience the bliss and joy of his presence, so too in the challenges, we must see his divine hand as golden opportunities for us to awaken and manifest the divinity within. That is why, going back to that statement where he says, do you think I would confront you with pain? Were there not a reason for it? Open your heart to pain as you do now for pleasure, for it is my will wrought by me for your own good. So that state of equanimity where we can view both the pain and the pleasure with equanimity is what we strive for. So in the chaos, in the confusion, in the challenges, we have to see the divine hand. And as Swami says, those difficulties, we should welcome them as you welcome the good times. So we've come to the end of this wonderful, beautiful, thought-provoking, blissful interview. Kindly share some closing remarks, and then we'll bring this interview to an end.
See, ultimately, as you are saying, accept pain and pleasure. There are 4 ways to deal with it. Karma Yoga teaches us accept pain and pleasure. It's part of our focus your attention on helping others with love in your heart. It says, whatever happens is a gift of God, your beloved. Like I was telling Jalaluddin Rumi or Jesus example. Accept it. Raja Yoga says, detach yourself. This is happening to your body. Mindfulness, just observe. Don't give energy to this. It's not worth it. Jnana Yoga says it is a dream. In the dream, a tiger chased you. You had an accident. You were bleeding and you are suffering for help. As soon as you wake up, do you go and investigate about those? This whole life is a dream. It's not real. It's relatively real. Arise out of it, and then you will experience nothing but peace and bliss. So it is our birthright. It is the only reason we are born, to become one with Sai and feel that oneness. I pray that every one of us attain self-realization in this birth itself. That's the reason Swami was born. Swami is in our heart. I pray for every one of us. Jai Sai Ram.
Dr. P.V. Shankar, the Sri Satya Sai Global Council of Trinidad and Tobago wishes to express gratitude and appreciation for you taking the time to share your personal journey, your perspective, and transformation through practicing and the understanding of the teachings of our beloved Mother Sai. May you continue to be the loving instrument you are as his mission continues to unfold. Jai Sai Ram.
Jai Sai Ram.